Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're jumping right into chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita, looking at it through the incredible insights of Shri Aurobindo. We're going to explore what it really truly means to know something. And trust me, it's way more than you think. So here's the journey we're going to take. First, we'll ask, what even is true knowledge? Then we'll look at the two basic natures that are inside all of us. After that, we'll see how to find the divine in the most ordinary things. And we'll explore the 4 different paths people take to get there. And we'll wrap up with a super practical tool, figuring out the difference between desire and real aspiration. Okay, let's get right into it. The Gita tells us that the kind of knowledge we get from books, facts and figures, that's just scratching the surface. There's a much, much deeper way to understand the world. So let me ask you this, just to get you thinking. How many ways are there to really truly know something? I mean, is it all about what you can memorize, or is there more to it? The Gita says, oh yeah, there's more, and it breaks it down into 2 powerful ideas. First up, we have something called jhana. Now, this is not about knowing about a thing. It's not reading a book on swimming. Jhana is the feeling of the water on your skin, the act of moving your arms, the direct personal experience of it. You become one with what you're trying to understand. It's knowing by being. And then you've got the next level, Vijnana. This is comprehensive knowledge. So stick with the flower example. You see a hibiscus. Jhana is just knowing that's a hibiscus. But Vijnana, that's knowing its entire story. Every petal, its role in the ecosystem, its medicinal uses, its symbolism, you get the whole 360-degree picture of its place in the universe. Okay, so what does all this have to do with us, personally? Well, the Gita says these ways of knowing are key to understanding the 2 fundamental natures that are humming along inside every single one of us. Think of it like a computer. We all have a kind of default operating system, right? That's our lower nature. It's made up of our body, our mind, our ego. It's what runs the show day to day. But, and this is the amazing part, we also have our evolutionary goal, our higher nature. This is the pure, untapped potential of our soul. So, how do we make that jump from one to the other? This is where our source material offers this just brilliant metaphor. We use the best parts of our current self, our clarity, our balance, our goodness, as a lever. It's like a pole vaulter. They use the pole to launch themselves, to get that incredible height. But to actually get over the bar, what do they have to do? They have to let the pole go. And when you start making that leap, something profound starts to happen. Your whole perception shifts. You begin to see the divine, not as some far-off being, but as something that is present in every single thing. Krishna gives this absolutely beautiful image to explain it. He says our world can look like just a bunch of random, separate things, but really, there's a single hidden thread of divine consciousness that connects it all, just like a string holding a necklace of pearls together. And he doesn't leave it as some abstract concept. He makes it so tangible, so real. He says, I am the taste you experience in water. I am the fragrance of the earth. I am the life force in every living thing, even the strength of the strong, and that little push inside you that makes you want to grow spiritually. He is the eternal seed that everything comes from. So if the divine is in everything, how do we even start to approach it? Well, the Gita is really wise about this. It recognizes that we all start our spiritual journeys from totally different places and for totally different reasons. So it lays out these 4 main paths, or 4 types of devotees. Some people start as the sufferer. They turn to the divine for help. Some are seekers, looking to gain something or maybe just do good in the world. Others are inquirers, driven by a deep curiosity to just understand. And finally, you have the knower, who loves the divine simply from a place of deep, complete understanding. Now, here's where it gets really fascinating. Krishna makes it super clear that all 4 of these paths are noble. There's zero judgment here. But he says the knower, the jnani, that one is the one he considers his very own, the dearest to him. So you have to ask, why? Why that one? And Krishna gives this incredibly powerful answer. He says, the knower is myself. It's not that they're just close to him. It's that they've reached a state of total union. Their little individual self has completely merged with the divine self. All right, for our final section, let's bring all this down to earth and look at probably the most practical tool for your own inner journey. And it all comes down to understanding the engine that drives us, the difference between plain old desire and true aspiration. The Gita presents us with this amazing little puzzle. On one hand, Krishna says he is totally free from desire, but then, in almost the next breath, he says he is the desire in beings that's in harmony with the cosmic law. So, what gives? How can both of those things be true? Well, the secret is all about the source. Ego-driven desire comes from our emotional, vital self. It's all about what can I get, and it usually ends up creating attachment and anxiety. But true aspiration, that bubbles up from the soul. It's not about getting, it's about aligning with a higher purpose. And that feels completely different, like openness, like surrender. And this leads to maybe the most useful takeaway from this whole chapter. How can you tell the difference in your own life? Here's the litmus test. Think of something you really want. Got it? Now, imagine you don't get it. If you feel a violent, painful, emotional reaction, that's desire. But if there's a sense of acceptance, of patience, with no major inner freakout, that's a true aspiration. And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. By just applying that simple test, we can start to see the hidden forces that are moving us. We can start to shift our own journey from one of just grasping and wanting to one of really unfolding and becoming. So the question is, in your own life, how do you see that difference playing out?